Welcome to the Spirit of a Badass, where we celebrate stories of courage, hope, and resiliency. I'm your host, Alecia Jacobson.
Hey, Badass listeners. Exciting news. Spirit of a Badass has been nominated for Best of Madison, and we've made it to the final round. Thank you so much for your vote for nomination. If this podcast has inspired you, made you laugh, or helped you feel a little more like the badass you are, I'd love your vote. There is a link in the show notes. All you have to do is click that link and then cast your vote under local podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so grateful for all of you and your vote. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to today's episode. Today, I'm going to start with a little story. This episode has been brewing for a while, and I might extend it even further because I wanted it to be very conversational. However, I think it's needed right now. And this really, it's not a funny topic, but this really funny situation happened today at the gym. And I'm like, okay, today was my recording day. And I thought, I'm going to bring this to the microphone. So I'm at the gym, and the trainer, who also is the owner, we were talking about social media, because if you are a business owner or entrepreneur or anything like that, and you are in charge of your own social media, you know that it is a struggle, like figuring out how to do it, when to do it, all these things. And I struggle to show up when I'm having big feelings. Like, people will always be like, oh, I missed you. And usually if you don't see me on social media, it's because I'm either working through something or I am struggling, with the world right now. I'm really struggling to show up being this sort of positive light. And I also am I'm geared towards the more negative. Everybody I joke about this all the time. Like, for being in such a positive space, I'm a really negative human. And I struggle because I'm not good at faking anything, really. So anyway, we're talking about this, and she was talking about she's struggling with it. I'm like, I know. And then she goes something about, what does it matter? And I'm like, oh, for real, what does it matter? Like, what does anything really matter? Because, big picture, like, what really matters? Like, here we're, putting out these things on social media, or, what in life actually matters? And if nothing really matters, then how do you find meaning in things that don't matter? Well, then she continued to say, like, like, I worry about putting this word here or that. And all of a sudden it hits me. We are having two very different conversations, and she is probably trying to get the hell out of this conversation with me because I am dark and scary. She is over here having a conversation about wording and writing social media, and does it really matter the way it's written? And I am having a conversation about the meaning of the world and how nothing really matters, and how do we find meaning when nothing matters. And then when I realized that she was talking about grammar and I'm talking about having this kind of existential crisis, I started laughing hysterically. And I'm like, I am just so dark. And also, this is something that I told you I've wanted to bring this here. How do you find meaning and joy? Because, the world right now is awful. It's truly awful. And my heart hurts. My heart hurts. So I'm not going to cry when I do this, but my heart, I'm going to cry. I wasn't planning on crying. Not that I ever plan on crying. But my heart hurts so much right now for what humanity and people are facing. And I just see people who look different than me and have different, I wonder, are they afraid? And what are their family members going through? There's just so many things. And that's just one piece. There's so many places to choose from. Anyway, what you are hearing right now, this emotion, I've joked about it on social media, about how depression doesn't look good on the internet, my stories, but I really have been struggling with the world and how to show up. And it was one of my goals this year truly, it was my year goal, is how do I still show up and still make space for what's going on. And I really think, one, I don't have the answer. So if you're looking for an answer for this podcast, you're not going to get it. But I do have some ideas. But how do we hold the weight that feels so fucking heavy? It is so heavy. How do we hold that and still make space for joy? And you can go back to my podcast that I, had out early January, probably November, December, January. And I really wanted to be bringing places for community, telling people resources of how to get involved. But this is more the mental health impact on how you handle and carry the weight of the world and the things that we are seeing happen. And how do you still go on? Because it feels there's so much friction there for me for going out and just living my life, and then also knowing what is happening in the world. And how do you blend the two together? So anyway, that popped up in my exercise class this morning about my meaning of life and how I am struggling just really with it. And I have had these conversations. In fact, a wonderful friend of mine who I had reached out to say, is this something that you could come and talk about? She actually politely declined and said, I'm not in a space. I do not feel happy. I cannot talk about how to feel joy amidst what's going on because I do not have that. And I think there's so much of that. And so today I'm going to talk about what I have found, which is the weirdest fucking thing ever. And it will not be the same for you. But my thought is there is something for everyone to sort of, not a distraction. I don't want to be fucking distracted, but I need something to bring joy. Whatever it is for you, I encourage you to try different things and go find it. I think, I don't know what episode, but I think I did a list of like dancing or arts or community building, all of these things. I gave a list of things. And so anyway, mine has quickly become my entire personality. It is nothing to do with what is happening in the world. It is something that gives me some structure and some start to finish that I can feel good about, and people give me praise for. It's an easy dopamine hit. So I have started baking sourdough bread. If you follow me on social media, I have been posting my sourdough bread. I am not really showing up much there with my faith. However, you will see my bread. And I started the sourdough journey back in October, and I tried to get a starter. I thought I kind of had a starter. And then my first bake was on election night. That bake failed. And then I went into a little bit of a spiral, and I decided to be done with the bread. But I had invested so much into this. I got a Dutch oven. I got all these things. Anyway, I went to my friend's house. And I can't remember if I told this on social media or I told this here. So my apologies if you're hearing it again. I went to my friend's house and she was making sourdough bread. And I'm like, girl, I need some of your starter. So she says, next time I feed it, I'll bring you some. So she brought me some starter on Mother's Day. And I have been a motherfucking baking queen since Mother's Day. I bake like 3 loaves 5 days a week, and I just give them to people. And there's only been a couple that have turned out wrong. And I think it's because I let my children help me with it. But I don't know what it is. Like I was not doing so super. I was not doing so super at all between the world and things that are happening in my personal life. There was some struggle going on. And let me tell you, the way this bread came into my life, and I can see from start to finish in one fucking day that I have done a thing, and then I can give it to someone and they then tell me how great it is. I don't know what it is about that. I have tried dancing. I shared that I tried painting. People say that baking or cooking is like their therapy. I get it now. I like it because it only has a couple of ingredients and I only have to spend it. People make sourdough bread out to seem that it's It's very tricky. It's actually not. And I've got it timed now. Now, if you work outside of the home, maybe, but being home, I have it timed so that everything happens on the hour and I switch clients on the hour. So I take like 30 seconds in between and go stretch and fold my dough. And then the rest of it happens when I'm done for the day. So I've got it figured out to where I can bookend my day with the things that take the most time. And then during the day, it doesn't take much time. But it really makes me feel so accomplished. It makes me, I can't even explain it, but it does it in a way that the other things that I have tried have not given me. And my encouragement for this is that you try different things, even the things that, I mean, I never would have thought that sourdough bread would help me with my mental health, but truly, I am a completely different person now than I was 3 months ago, like completely different. And the only thing that changed, well, I did go to my therapist and to my acupuncturist, but I know that it was the sourdough bread. So maybe therapy, I don't know. Do we not need therapy? Do we just need to bake fucking bread? I don't know. Anyway, it has been working. And one, I'm giving it to people that I know. So that's like a little hit for me of, okay, I'm making them happy. It tastes good. I get them to feel good that I gave, like the cycle of it. But then also there is, I don't know if I can do it. I have to reach out to them, but there is like the little pantries that there's like, it's like the little free library, but it's a little pantry that we bring food to occasionally. And when we were doing our drop off, I saw that there was a whole bin for bread. And I'm like, oh, I can bring my bread here. Now, I don't know if because it's not store bought. I don't know, but I'm gonna see about that because like there's just so many things right now that I feel that make my heart hurt. I think when I had on Kim from Luke's Closet, we were talking and she was saying how she's one link in the chain, and I struggle with wanting to be all the links in all the chains. And doing this has really been helpful for me, even if it has nothing to do with really helping the world, because my fucking bread does not help the suffering in the world, but it offsets the ickiness that I'm feeling and allows me to show up better to the world. So by filling myself up, I am then able to show up better and have better conversations with people and be a better version of myself because I'm taking care of myself. And I think that it is a hard thing because the thing that I was really struggling with was I doing all the right things. I mean, I come on here or in life, like my whole job is helping people find the key to the things that they need to unlock. I wrote everything when I was working with my therapist. I wrote everything down. I'm literally checking every fucking box that should allow me to show up. And it wasn't working. And I'm like, this does not, it does not make sense. Something is not working here. Now, again, should it be fucking bread? No. Is it? Yes. I don't know why. But for you, like, go out and try the different things. If there has something that has been like, oh, I've always wanted to do this, or somebody had said, I used to really love dancing, but I haven't really found a place for it. And, or, whatever it is, that thing that has kind of been planted in you, explore it a little bit. Maybe you did the bingo card episode and you wrote some things down on that. That too, I get so many messages about, oh my gosh, I did this. And that is a cup filler. That is something, I mean, we have to, it's like we're holding two sides of ourselves. This very side that is not, our eyes are open and we see, and it hurts and it's painful. And also, if we can't show up to be supportive of humanity and people, then that's not good. We have to be able to show up. And it has to, like, a roller coaster, ebb and flow, whatever. Like it's going to have highs and lows, but in general, if we are feeling these things, we are no good to society, the world, our circle, if we are so crushed by the waves. It's like, how do you get on your fucking surfboard, which I would never do. I would be so afraid of dying in the ocean, but let's just roll with it, right? How do you get on it and just ride the wave versus like sometimes it's going to fucking crash and then you've got salt water up your nose and you're like coughing it all out, which is going to happen. It's going to happen. But then how do you get back up? And sourdough bread was my avenue. It feels so heavy, this guilt of not being able to do enough. How do we manage that? And how do we handle that? One of the things that we can do is perhaps, these are things that I have people do with all sorts of other things, but it could work really well with this. I don't like using the word helplessness, but I'm going to use it only because it will land better. But how do we kind of release that and honor what we are doing? And a couple different rituals that we can do. The shaking is something I have shared so many times, and I really just think it's a great tool to feel your physical body and release, because guilt is not going to help us. It's not, I don't know that it ever really helps, but in this situation, it definitely is not going to be a catalyst for anything. So releasing that guilt and doing it with the kind of shaking or dancing and kind of brushing off your skin. You can Google it and you will find YouTube videos on how to do it. But I just like stand up and like jump, kind of like bounce and shake off my wrists, and kind of, you can brush off your arms and legs and just vigorously for 30 seconds to 2 minutes, shake and release that energy. And you can even think of the icky thoughts that you're thinking and kind of release them off of you. And then the other thing would be making a list of the things that you are doing. So maybe this is part of your morning or evening ritual of, today I did these 2 things, or maybe it's at the end of the week or beginning of the week. Here are the things that I'm going to do this week to show up for the world, to show up for my circle, to bring a voice to the awful things that are happening, because not talking about it is not helpful, but it can't take everything from you, because then you have nothing to give. So honoring and giving thanks for what you have been able to do, and then releasing this idea of, I can't be all the links. I can be one link, but I can't be all the links. And kind of writing that down, and you can either, just keep a journal with it, burn it, whatever kind of ritual you would want to do with it, but honoring what you are able to do, what you are doing for the world, for your community, and then releasing the things that we are unable to control. And that will vary depending on the week, the month, your kind of position in life. Do you have a large platform? Do you have a job or connections that allow you to have kind of that louder, bigger position and voice? Are you funny? Are you able to show up and bring humor to people in situations? We all have something inside of us, a talent that we can bring to the world, and really honoring and giving value to whatever that is. And then some sort of a releasing, letting go of the things that we cannot control. And when we do this, then we are able to show up to the world in a better way. And this is not really talked about, but I fucking know that so many people are feeling it. And when people are like, how are you? I'm like, I was at a graduation party, and I'm like, what do I fucking say? Like, everything is awful. And yet there are things that are lovely and full of light and great, but it's like, how do we navigate this? I don't know that. I'm sure that some people have been in this, but I feel like most of the people listening, these are not necessarily things that we've had life experience with. And what are the tools to deal with it? And how do we hold space for both things and not let the big, awful things absolutely crush us and take us out and under the wave to where we are unable to show up for people? So I hope that you are able to find some light, find some joy, find the thing that you maybe didn't know was your thing or wanted to try out, or I don't know what that looks like, but seek out joy so that you have the ability to serve in a way that you can. And I think what Kim said, that really, I even said it in the episode. I'm like, oh, that changed me. I can't be all the links, but I can be this one. And I just think that's so important because when we look at all the links, it's like, holy shit. And I really think that that's where a lot of us are right now is, holy shit, how do we even help and support humanity when it feels so big? And it's like, okay, how can we narrow it in? How can we fill our cup so that we can be there for the world or our community, whatever scale you are on? So that is what I have come up with. Like I said, I don't have the answers. I don't know who has the answer. If you know anybody who has the answers, please reach out to me and let me know so I can share the message. But as we all navigate this is where my awkward conversation from the gym landed me today. And I wanted to share that along with the most random thing that has brought me so much joy and gives me dopamine hits that allow me to show up for the rest of my people in the world and have a positive-ish. I don't like that. I don't know why I hate that fucking word now, but have a light that I can kind of shine it through versus my naturally negative self. All right. Thank you. And I wish you so much strength, and just know that you are not alone. Know that we are experiencing this, that the things that you are feeling are so valid, and use that energy to bring light and power and whatever it is that you have, bring that fucking shit to the world and try your darndest not to have that wave keep you down for too long, and to find that footing so that you can hold both of these life experiences that we have right now and show up in the way that you can. All right. See you next time.
Spirit of a Badass is a Lit Path Studios podcast and is produced by Jamie Gale and Alecia Jacobson. Music by Shane Ivers. We'll be back with another inspiring interview. Until then, keep your spirits high and your energy badass.